A priceless antique, the Star of the Pacific, vanishes from a grand party at the DeMarco mansion. A tale as old as time, a precious gem, a grand party, and a mysterious theft. This was no ordinary theft, though. The stolen item was an antique diamond necklace known as the Star of the Pacific, an heirloom that had been in the influential DeMarco family for generations. This necklace was not just a piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of the family's legacy and wealth, valued in the millions. The theft transpired amidst the glitter and glamour of a grand party at the DeMarco mansion. The mansion was brimming with guests, each one more distinguished than the last. Security personnel were stationed at every corner, their eyes scanning the crowd for any sign of trouble. But despite all the watchful eyes, the necklace disappeared, vanished, as if it had never been there in the first place. The San Francisco Police Department was put on the case, and at the helm of the investigation was Detective Laura. A veteran of the force, Laura had been serving the city for over a decade. She was known for her sharp intuition, her relentless pursuit of truth, and her knack for cracking the most complex cases. Her reputation was unparalleled, and her dedication to justice was unwavering. As Laura delved into the case, she faced an array of challenges. Every guest had an alibi. The security footage revealed nothing out of the ordinary. The thief had managed to pull off the theft without leaving a single trace. It was a well-executed heist, one that baffled even the most experienced detectives. But Laura was not one to be deterred. She knew that every mystery had a solution, every puzzle a missing piece, and she was determined to find it. Despite the presence of numerous guests and security personnel, the necklace was stolen without a trace. An impossible mystery, it seemed. But if there was anyone who could solve this enigma, it was Detective Laura, and she was ready to unravel the mystery of the vanishing heirloom. Detective Laura, with her keen intuition, starts to unravel the tangled threads of this peculiar case. Now, Laura was no stranger to complex puzzles. Her decade-long experience in the San Francisco Police Department had seen to that. But this was a riddle wrapped in an enigma. She started her investigation in the most logical place, the DeMarco family. They were, after all, the victims of this grand theft. She interviewed each member, meticulously noting their statements, their alibis, their reactions. From the patriarch, who was as stoic as the stone walls of the mansion, to the youngest scion, barely out of his teens, everyone had an alibi. Not deterred, Laura turned her attention to the guests. The party was a grand affair, attended by the crème de la crème of society. Each of them, too, seemed to be in the clear. They were either absorbed in the festivities or too engrossed in their own world to notice the theft. Next, she combed through hours of security footage. Surely there had to be something, some clue, some indication of the thief. Yet the footage was as clean as a whistle. No suspicious movements, no sudden disappearances, not even a hint of a struggle. It was as if the necklace had simply decided to take a stroll and vanished into thin air. But Laura, with her hawk-like eyes and relentless pursuit of truth, noticed something. Amid the sea of guests, a waiter seemed out of place. He wasn't part of the regular staff, his uniform slightly ill-fitted, his movements slightly awkward, and he was nervous, his eyes frequently darting towards the safe where the necklace was kept. Yet something was amiss. A waiter, a stranger to the regular staff, caught Laura's attention. This discovery, this small anomaly in an otherwise perfect evening, set the wheels of Laura's investigation in motion. It was a thin thread, barely visible, but it was a thread nonetheless, and Laura was about to pull on it with all her might. The game was afoot. A nervous waiter, a stranger in the crowd, and a glance that held the key to the mystery. On a day that seemed to be leading to a dead end, Detective Laura found an unusual suspect in the security footage. Among the sea of familiar faces, a waiter, an outsider, stood out. His constant fidgeting, the nervous twitch of his eyes, and his frequent glances towards the safe where the Star of the Pacific was kept, painted a picture of unease and suspicion. Laura, with her keen eyes and sharp intuition, picked up on these subtle cues. She decided to focus her investigation on this individual, an anomaly in the otherwise seamless event. This man was not part of the regular staff, a detail that only added to the growing suspicion. His presence was a question, an enigma, a puzzle that Laura was determined to solve. And so she set out on her mission to track down this mysterious waiter. It was a chase that required her to delve into the depths of the city's underbelly, to navigate through a labyrinth of connections, and to unravel a web of deceit. But Laura was relentless, her pursuit of truth unwavering. As pieces of the puzzle started to fall into place, a shocking revelation came to light. The seemingly harmless waiter was none other than Eddie, a name that sent shivers down the spine of the criminal world. Eddie was a renowned jewel thief, a master of deception, a ghost who had been presumed dead in a tragic boat accident a year ago. Laura's discovery was tantamount to unearthing a ghost, a spectre from the past who had returned to haunt the present. The mystery of the vanishing heirloom started to unravel, and the path to the truth was now clearer. The anonymous waiter was none other than Eddie, a renowned jewel thief long thought to be dead. This revelation marked a significant turn in the case, a twist that only Laura, with her exceptional observation skills and dogged determination, could have unraveled. A ghost from the past, a thief in the night, and a chase that takes us to the heart of the mystery. With her honed instincts, Detective Laura was on Eddie's trail. A man presumed dead, now resurfaced as a waiter-turned-thief. But Eddie was no ordinary thief. He was a master of deception, a ghost who had managed to vanish even in a room full of people. Laura and her team started by piecing together Eddie's past. They dug into his known associates, old haunts, and even the wreckage of the boat accident that supposedly took his life. Each new piece of information was like a breadcrumb, leading them closer to their elusive target. Eddie, on the other hand, was always a step ahead, like a wisp of smoke slipping through their fingers. He knew he was being pursued, and he was not going to make it easy for them. But Laura was relentless. She was determined to bring Eddie to justice and return the stolen necklace to its rightful owners. The chase led them across the city, through winding alleys and down forgotten roads. It was a game of cat and mouse, each predicting the other's moves, each trying to outsmart the other. But Laura was patient. She knew every chase had an end, and she was ready to play the long game. Finally, their patience paid off. They caught Eddie attempting to leave the city, the stolen necklace hidden amongst his belongings. It was a thrilling moment, the culmination of their relentless pursuit. Eddie was arrested, and the stolen necklace, the Star of the Pacific, was recovered. In the end, it was Laura's keen observation and determination that led to the capture of the renowned jewel thief. She had solved the mystery that had baffled everyone, proving once again that no case was too complex for her. Eddie was caught, the thief behind the grand deception, the mystery of the Star of the Pacific solved. The Star of the Pacific returned to its rightful owners, and a case that seemed impossible solved. As the San Francisco morning fog began to lift, Detective Laura stood outside the Grand DeMarco mansion, the recovered Star of the Pacific nestled securely in a velvet box. The mansion, once a symbol of mystery and intrigue, had now returned to its usual air of tranquility. With a twinkle in her eye, Laura approached the ornate door of the mansion. As the door swung open, she was greeted by the relieved faces of the DeMarco family. She presented them with the velvet box. The moment the lid was lifted, the room was filled with a collective gasp. There it was, the Star of the Pacific, radiating an ethereal glow, back in the hands of its rightful owners. The room broke into applause, and the DeMarco family, teary-eyed, thanked Laura for her relentless pursuit of justice. The resolution of the case was not just a victory for Laura, but also a testament to her sharp intuition and unwavering determination. The case that had baffled the city and stumped the police department was cracked open by Laura's keen observation. The waiter, presumed to be a regular staff member, turned out to be the elusive jewel thief Eddie. The thief, who had vanished as seamlessly as the necklace itself, was finally behind bars, thanks to Laura. News of Laura's success spread quickly. The city buzzed with her name, her tale becoming a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of astute observation and relentless determination. The seemingly impossible case had been solved. The stolen heirloom returned, and the city was a little safer. all thanks to Detective Laura. The sun began to set on San Francisco, casting long shadows and painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. The city was winding down, but for Detective Laura, another day of relentless pursuit of truth had just begun. Once again, Detective Laura's keen observation and determination had turned the impossible into possible.